Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It's Wednesday, December the 30th, and this will be the final installment of Wednesday Word for 2020. This weekend, of course, is the first Sunday of the new year, and I want to remind everybody that we'll be resuming limited in-person worship at our church. So if you wish to join us for the net contemporary service at 9 a.m. or the traditional service at 11, I encourage you to contact Lizette Helveston of our church staff, either by phone or through the church website. Also, we'll be celebrating Holy Communion. And if you're joining us via live stream, I would encourage you to set aside some bread and a cup of juice so that you can participate in that wonderful sacrament during the worship service. Well, as this year comes to a close and we look back on it, we have to acknowledge that it's been quite a year. We have faced so many challenges, and who could have anticipated half of them as the year began? It's been a tough year. But on the other hand, it's been a year filled with many blessings as well, and we've seen so many of them at our church. One of the ways in which I have been so blessed is to witness the adaptability of our church staff as well as our church leaders and, quite frankly, all of our church members to the changing circumstances as we've moved through this year. It's been a pleasure to work with folks in our church and to see how we have, again, as I said, adapted to this new world in which we find ourselves. One way is through Zoom. None of us could have imagined how often would have been gathering by Zoom this year, and yet we have, and that's enabled our Sunday schools to remain connected, our small groups in other ways, our committees, Bible studies, and individuals in our church. And so thank God for Zoom in that regard, because it has enabled us to remain far more connected than we otherwise would have been but for that technology. Another great blessing has been how you, the members and friends of Providence UMC, have supported our church financially this year. It's really been quite something. Your generosity has enabled us to be the church in every sense of the word, and we haven't lost a step, in my opinion. Yes, there have been cutbacks in certain areas, but your generosity has allowed us to thrive, not just survive in the midst of this coronavirus pandemic. And by the way, there have been no cutbacks in the area of missions. Your missional giving has allowed us to fulfill all of our commitments that we had made for this year. We've kept up our apportionments fully, and we've gone above and beyond in targeting special areas of need because of the pandemic. So again, thank you so very much for showing your heart when it comes to the area of missions and otherwise. We've seen amazing things this year. The UMW has done remarkable things. Most recently, the cookie walk. It was supposed to be the petite cookie walk. I don't think it was small in any sense of the word. And so thank you for supporting UMW, because its support of missions is so impactful. Uh, with regard to UMAR and Haiti and otherwise, we're so grateful for the women of our UMW. The youth have had a remarkable year in spite of the fact that they've not been able to do so many of the activities that they ordinarily would do. But wow, the pumpkin sale was a great success, and we hope that that will pave the way for much missional activity for them and other uh, youth trips next year, Lord willing. I also want to lift up how the members of our children's ministry team have made extra efforts to reach out to the children of our congregation in spite of our inability to meet as we ordinarily would have this year. And I want to especially lift up the weekday school for its successful reopening this fall. It's been a great success indeed, and I thank all who are involved in that ministry for their fine work. There are so many other ways in which I could celebrate how our church has been the church, as I said earlier, during this challenging year. And but one I want to add is how you as the members have cared so beautifully for one another. This is not just this year, it's from past years as well, but I think it's one of the great hallmarks of our congregation. Um, you care for those who are ill, for those who are grieving, for those who are in need. You show your heart in so many ways, and it's a great privilege and blessing to be serving this church with you. Jesus calls us to be the light of the world. In fact, he says those very words in the Sermon on the Mount in chapter 5 of the Gospel of Matthew. He says, "You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. I've mentioned just a few of the ways in which members of this congregation have been the light of the world this past year, a very dark year in many respects. And I pray that as we go into 2021, we'll continue to allow our light to shine, because that light is really a reflection of the light of Jesus Christ that burns within our hearts. May we all reflect that light in new and exciting ways in the year to come and years to come. God bless you all.